What's going on, E Nation Army? This is Ian the Motorsports Man here, and welcome back to yet another video. So, everybody is talking about the 2024 Atlanta Race 1 Cup race. Everybody is talking about the finish, the third closest NASCAR Cup Series finish of all time. History was made tonight, even though it's number 3 closest, but history was made tonight. And whenever I hear something historical in the world of auto racing, I love that. I get excited for that. That makes me happy. That makes me happy. And that's what's going to be this video. That is what is going to be this video about. I do have positive thoughts about this race, but I do have some skeptical opinions about this race moving forward into the future. It may or may not make sense, but this is just what I've been thinking about. So let's get to the positives. Like, I want to be positive about this. Let's begin. So the cup race happened today or yesterday. If video does get upload tomorrow, who knows? So the finish, we'll get to that in a moment. Let's talk about the cup race. Obviously, not only I watch less NASCAR nowadays, but I had work. But whenever I had the chance, like, see, like, heard what happened, all that, I've heard opinions like how the race was. Oh, there was a lap 2 crash. Oh, there was this crash. There was this crash. There was that crash. Blah 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 blah. There was this racing and all that. One of the things that caught my attention in terms of positivity is handling. It's nice to hear that handling was a factor in this race. Like, drivers can actually drive their cars at a restricted engine race like Atlanta. I'll get to that point in a moment. So it's nice to hear that drivers can race current Atlanta with whatever the heck they ran. And it's cool. The only time wrecks happen is like somebody messed up, but there was like handling issues, whatever issues. Other than that, it's just everybody else showing your skills at this race. And that's nice. That is good. And I just hate the fact that there's still wrecks and all that. Like constant wrecks, because that's what Atlanta's about. But let's be positive. Let's be positive. I heard the racing, of course, is crazy. And that was built that way. And drivers showing their skills and all that. I know I'm repeating myself. But anyway, so let's talk about the main point. The finish. So, thankfully, this race was not a green-white checkered. It was a 5-lap dash to the finish, and it was just craziness going on. Like, Daniel Suarez, Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney, a lot of drivers going at it. Like, got Austin Cindric, Bubba Wallace. Like, there was a lot going on, of course, for the last 5 laps. And the finish. Daniel Suarez, Kyle Busch, and Ryan Blaney. 1, 2, 3 at the line, with Suarez winning the race, Ryan Blaney finishing second, and Kyle Busch finishing third. The third closest NASCAR Cup Series finish of all time just took place today or yesterday, depending on where this video is uploaded. Yeah, I love that. I love that a historical moment happened. And let's talk about Daniel Suarez. Daniel Suarez. A lot of people say that this is a statement win. And I'm like, is it really? Let's see how it is throughout the entire season. Because 2023 was a struggling year. 2022, he won Sonoma. And 2024, he ran good at the 500. But was part of the huge wreck with 9 laps to go. And then he won this race. Honestly, Trackhouse Racing, they know how to, like, have their moment in the spotlight the craziest way possible. Ross Chastain winning at Coda after going at it with A.J. Allmendinger and Alex Bowman. Ross Chastain winning at Talladega, but that was just typical Dega racing, I guess. But hey, he still won that race. Ross Chastain wall riding out Martinsville 2. The fall race. Shane Van Gisbergen winning in his first ever NASCAR Cup Series race at Chicago. Like, Trackhouse, they're them. Let's be real, they're them. And they just won the Trans Am race at Sebring, which is, I think, the TA2 race on Saturday. Connor Zilic won for Trackhouse Racing in a TA2 Trans Am race at Sebring to kick off the season for 2024 for the Trans Am. Connor Zilic is him. As for Daniel Suarez, I really hope he does well moving forward throughout the season. He's got his second career win. Like, I really hope he does well. I know I'm repeating myself, but who doesn't want to see Suarez do well? Not only that, who isn't Daniel Suarez's amigo? And they've got Ryan Blaney second, Kyle Busch third. Like, that finish, that was just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Historically awesome. Even though I don't like her in Atlanta, I'll give it that. it had a historical finish. And I'm glad that that's a positive, getting out of that hell of a weekend. So I brought up some positives, and I'm glad I got that out of my chest. And let's get to the skepticisms on why I'm skeptical about this race after this race, moving forward into the future. Unfortunately, everyone knows that Atlanta is currently a Daytona Talladega ripoff. But in my opinion, I think it's less about the track and more on the racing, the cars being restricted. I know everyone blamed the track, and I was one of the people that blamed the track for being the way it is. But over a while, it's more of the racing to me, the restricted racing. I still don't like the fact that Atlanta is still a restricted racing for trucks, Xfinity, and Cup. I still don't like that. I will never support that. And I'm skeptical that in the future, hypothetically, that like if imagine this actually happened. Imagine like SMI saw the Atlanta finish and everyone's talking about it and they're like, hey, let's turn Texas into a Texas-sized super speedway. Or they'll return to Kentucky and they'll make Kentucky into another random Atlanta ripoff because of one race and because of the historical finish. And then, oh, they're gonna race restricted on those. I fear that might happen. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I fear that it might happen. You know, it's NASCAR. You know how they are. It's TV, like NASCAR on TV. They love the stupidity gimmicks and all that, the not natural excitement. I fear those things will happen, and I know I've been critical for NASCAR for years because of constant stupidity, but this is because I'm a motorsports fanatic. It concerns me and makes me nervous that when it comes to bad decisions, like they'll stick to it forever and all that, and they're just pleasing the wrong people. But I just don't want to see intermediate restricted racing for any track. Keep the restricted engine to Daytona Talladega racing. I'm not for restricted racing. It's just always been there for me, but I hate the fact that it's used for entertainment purposes instead of the safety stuff like 1988 and all that. I know I'm rambling. I know it doesn't make sense to some, but this is just what I'm thinking in my head, and I just want to release my opinion on video. I'm just concerned that this is what the future is of NASCAR. Constant intermediate restricted racing, pack racing, like those things, like especially like with Atlanta. When Atlanta was built to be the way it is today with restricted racing, it's a middle finger to the drivers and a driver's safety. I know the drivers from that race said it was a fun race, and that's good. That's good. But still, if you make more Daytona Talladega rip-off races for tracks that aren't Daytona Talladega, it's just greedy for entertainment, and it's just a middle finger for the drivers and the driver safety even more. It's just, no, let's not do that. That's not the future of racing. That should not be the future of racing. That should not be normalized at all. But all I can hope is that one day, whenever Atlanta does age, or who knows, whenever it actually does happen, I really hope we can see unrestricted Atlanta racing again for NASCAR. I'm missing that. I would love to see unrestricted Atlanta racing with the current Atlanta. Faster racing, great racing, even more skilled racing. Like, who doesn't love cars going fast? Like 28 degrees at Atlanta, unrestricted. Like, yes, I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that. Bring back unrestricted Atlanta racing. I would like to see that again. That's all I want. Like, I don't care if Atlanta is going to be 28 degrees of banking for the next 20 years. That's already done. We can't go back to the original Atlanta layout. We can't go back to the 1997, 2021 layout. We can't do that. We can't just do that again. We can't just return to those. I guess, I don't know, wait another 2 decades, I guess. But realistically, moving forward in the future, who knows? All I want is unrestricted Atlanta racing for NASCAR. And like, here's the thing, I don't understand this, but throughout the weekend it was a hellhole. Truck Series was mid, but then again, truck is always terrible anyway. Who cares? Xfinity, it was terrible, and I'm like, hey, that's what happens when you restrict racing at Atlanta. And then with the Cup race, because of one actual good race, quote unquote good or decent race, and because of the historical photo finish, yep, I don't want this to be the direction of NASCAR, but I feel that this might be it. Sounds like fear-mongering, I know. And I'm not trying to fear-monger anybody, but it's just skepticism for me. And I hope that doesn't happen. I just want unrestricted Atlanta racing. That's all. That's all I want. I don't wish that for I don't wish restricted engine racing for any track, any intermediate or anything like that. Hopefully one day we can go back to that. Who knows? And if they still do that, just no. Just no. That's just no. It's just, I don't know. Some people are just meat riders because of one decent race today. Everyone's like, oh my God, did the greatest thing ever. Oh my God. And NASCAR's like, all right, let's do this. I don't know. Just rambling at this point. In conclusion, the Cup Race at Atlanta, thank goodness it had a historical moment and it was the top 3 finish. As an IndyCar fan, the closest I can compare it to is 2002 IndyCar Chicagoland and maybe 1997 Portland for kart. I had someone bring up that, oh, it was like 2013 Freedom 100. I'm like, not really. Plus, I was in the mood compared to that. But no, that was 4 wide. Atlanta was 3 wide. So I know I'm comparing apples to oranges. I'm kind of a hypocrite at that part. But yeah, awesome finish. What a historical moment. Top 3 closest cup finish of all time. I just hope one day we can have unrestricted Atlanta racing back, and I do not want intermediate restricted engine racing anywhere else. Realistically, I just want restricted engine racing for Daytona. That's it. There's a reason why it's like that. Well, mainly because 1988, like, why plates are a thing forever. But Daytona Talladega was built to be the way it is. Bill France Sr. built Daytona National Speedway after the ending of Daytona Beach Racing Speed Records, because Daytona Beach Speed Records were a thing back then, and Bill wanted Daytona to be about speed and not lifting in the corners. 2.5 miles of that. Talladega, basically Daytona, but bigger and badder. And Atlanta, it's just a Daytona Talladega ripoff, which is still stupid. I will not support that still, even with an awesome finish. I'm still not going to support restricted Atlanta racing. Take off the restricted stuff, and maybe I'll watch Atlanta again. So yeah, I hate that they abuse restricted racing just for silliness, entertainment, all that. And I know we had a good finish, and it's a positive, but I fear that might be the future, and I don't want that to happen. Who knows? I could be wrong as usual. So yeah, I think I'm done rambling. I think I got everything off my chest. So that's going to do it for another video. Thank y'all so much for watching. This is Ian the Motorsports Man signing off. Goodbye, everybody, and make Atlanta unrestricted again. And also, amazing finish. Goodbye, everybody.